I'm Dr. Knapp. I've been in practice almost 50 years, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion about the coronavirus. This has nothing to do with any medical organization, hospital, clinics that I'm associated with. It's just my personal opinion. Please don't complain to any organizations about my opinion. The coronavirus is, of course, a brand new illness, and I agree with trying to quarantine it when it first came out in China. But once it came out to 20, 30 different countries, the cat is out of the bag. We're not going to stop it. We tried to quarantine smallpox. We tried to quarantine scarlet fever. Even chickenpox we quarantined for 100 years, and we still have chickenpox. So I don't think once there's a universal illness out there, quarantining really does not help that much. Most of these illnesses do go through your hands, and you'll hear many organizations talking about your hands, your hands, your hands. The face mask really does, in medical studies, do not prove that it prevents you from catching an illness. If you're sick, it keeps you from coughing the germs outward. But the mask covers up your nose and throat, but it doesn't cover up your eyes. So be cautious of anybody coughing within a foot or two of your face. But keeping your hands away from your face is the most important thing. You can use hand sterilizers or soap and water to cleanse your hands frequently. The illnesses range in severity, every one of them. When we used to have chickenpox, we had some kids with 99 degrees temperature and maybe 10 spots. Now, some other child may come in with 103 fever and 100 spots. So all different diseases have different severities. There's probably many people with this coronavirus that have minimal symptoms, borderline fever, cough, and never seek medical care. There's probably 500,000 people with the coronavirus. They just never know. Plus, who wants to announce that they have coronavirus? Would I want to get tested and then I'll get quarantined for a whole month and not be able to work? My relatives or friends don't want to come around me. My children can't go to their school because they're quarantined. The ripple effect is tremendous. So there's probably many people who do not want to say that they have coronavirus. The few cases that are been diagnosed, then of course they're usually the more severe cases. Then the statistics look horrible. Oh, there's a high mortality to this illness. I would bet this coronavirus is similar to the influenza, and I would bet that there's not a higher mortality. And it tends to be more in the elderly. 80% of the deaths from influenza are the elderly who have a lot of medical problems. And that's also true of the coronavirus. 80% of the deaths have been elderly with medical problems. The mortality is a very similar curve. This winter, there's been 45 million cases of influenza in America alone. 500,000, 500,000 hospitalized. 46,000 deaths this year. That's approximately 300 deaths every day of influenza. And so the cases with coronavirus are going to really be high because nobody's immune to it. And hopefully we'll get a vaccine for it quickly. But until then, it's going to be a tremendous number of cases. The news media tends to expound on this, and they love to horribilize it. Oh my goodness, we've got 2 more deaths and 100 more cases. We haven't said anything about influenza. Sometimes the fear of a global pandemic may have a worse impact on a country than the disease itself. The hysteria right now is out the roof. Do you have your car locked out there in the parking lot, or is your house locked when you leave the house? Does that make you paranoid? No. We're just cautious because we know things can happen. And so same thing with this illness and any illness. We need to take normal precautions. Wash your hands frequently, or hand sanitizer. Keep your hands away from your face, and do that every day, even when there's not ongoing cases of flu or coronavirus, because we have a lot of other enteroviruses that can cause respiratory troubles and even paralysis. We have norovirus with vomiting, diarrhea. We have a lot of illnesses out there, and if you just keep your hands clean and away from your face, you'll be healthier. The flu vaccine, it prevents influenza usually about half the time, and a little less severe if you do get the flu, so I do recommend the vaccine. But I can't believe the coronavirus is going to be any better vaccine. It's going to help, but not prevent it. So to have quarantine families and countries at this time, it's kind of too late, and does a lot more harm. Everybody try and calm down, use your normal hygiene, and don't be so panicked. It's amazing how places are sold out of many items in the stores. Hand sanitizer, products that we get from other countries is running out of the shelves, and the panic is causing more trouble. Well, we hope we get a vaccine soon, and hopefully this won't be as severe a disease. I'm hoping this will be seasonal like influenza, but when we had the swine flu that came out in 2009, it was all summer. It was every month of the year. But then after the first year, it settled down to then winter seasonal cases. And hard to say if this is going to be more severe, because it is a bad chest infection. It's hard to say whether or not it'll be seasonal or not, so we'll find out. My suspicion is that it's going to be all summer, and then after a year or so, settle down to a seasonal illness. That's my personal opinion. Thank you.